Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is super loud in my ear. I am actually here this time. I didn't have my mic plugged in. I'd unplugged my mic, and my green screen was still up. I hadn't turned that off either. Oh my gosh, how are we all doing today? What a great start. What an absolute great start for you guys right at the beginning. To just see me come on with my green screen on in the background. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. I'd planned for today to be about, I tweeted it, to be able to do, like turning lights on and off. I know I've covered it a few times. I did a lantern. I don't think I did it on the tutorial stream. So I want to try and keep like tutorial based stuff on, like, regardless of if I've covered it in different videos, different streams. I do want to at least touch base so I know, okay, this is, the tutorial one has how to do this. So that's what we're going to be doing. I will obviously also make like just a standard normal video on how to make something light up and animate it and things like that. So a lot of people do just work in the modeler first and then move everything over to the animator. This is perfectly fine. You can. This is how I started out. I always made all my models separate in the modeler, or even like large things that would need to be broken up. Like last week we talked about collisions. And so that chair that I showed you that I made, I would have made the whole chair over in the modeler section and then moved it over to animator and broke it apart there. It's just the fact that because we always have to use the animator, it just makes it easier to use it there. I'm not too sure whether it's 100% needed, but even for simple entities, at least on the creator fund, we do get asked to have those in the animator. But how is everybody's morning going? I'm going to drink a cup of tea and kind of wake up a little bit. Very early. Well, it's not very early. It's almost 10 a.m. But I had a very, very late night. I struggled to get to sleep. It's one of those nights. It's so windy. It was like a storm in the UK. And I just could not sleep because it was so loud. But everything looks fine here anyway. House hasn't fallen down. That's the main thing. Yeah, did mean that I didn't get to sleep until like 2 in the morning. And even then, it wasn't a great sleep. But how's everybody else doing? And we'll get into this in a second. Let's just do our good mornings to each other. And we will be doing the extended live stream this evening, where we'll be making assets upon assets upon assets. I have decided what we'll be making this evening, so I know that's all planned ready. But if you guys have anything sort of tutorially based that you want me to cover in these live tutorial streams, then do let me know, because I will cover them. Hype! Who's hyping me? Hey! Who's hyping me? Oh, I need to wake up to be a bit more hype. Anyway, for our tutorial-based stuff, let's, can you guys hear me fine? I've been playing about with the settings on my mic because I was getting a lot of cut-offs. Seems to be alright now, but I don't know if it's too loud. But anyway, I'm going to start in the animator. This is just where I do everything. So create new asset, we're on Thursday, where are you? Thursday, here we go. So, lantern / light. So, once you start in the animator, I'm just going to do this for every single tutorial stream. So if anybody hasn't seen my other ones, or if they're brand new and joined this one, they can understand. So there's sort of 3 main areas within the animator. If you use a template, some of these areas or parts of these areas are going to be locked to you. Please, what you contribute to and share to the community. I want to ask a question, hope you don't mind. I am an animator currently. I am making games and a little animation. Okay, And I desperately need some extra income. If I follow the tutorial, will I be able to earn at least 500 more a month? Probably not. No. So currently, right now, the only people earning are people within the Creator Fund. Applications to the Creator Fund are closed. They most likely will not be reopening. There was an article saying that they're not going to be reopening until further notice. And that's because they're moving more to user-generated content, which is more opening up the marketplace for other people to make and upload their things, their assets. And there is a cost as well. So if you make an asset, it can be put up on the marketplace, but you need to mint that asset for it to be able to be sold. Right now, on the Creator Fund, just a small selection of assets get chosen by people higher up. So yes, if when the market opens up and if you have a really good asset, then yeah, you might be able to make a fair amount of money. But to say at least a certain amount, I could not possibly say yes, you'll make this much, because that's not guaranteed at all. So sorry. 1 second, guys. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to pop off to go help little one in a second, and I'll only be gone for like a moment. But let me just cover the main bits of the animator that you come into. And like I said, if you're using the template, some of these will be limited or just not accessible. Don't run. I'm not gonna run. So skeleton is where all the pieces of your assets or all your models will come together. So you start out with a root node, and it's always important to just have a control node here. So so that's the child node to the root. You cannot move the root, so it makes more sense to connect things to a control node. So if you need to reposition the entire thing, you can move the entire thing. Right, I will be back in just a second. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I am back. So, like I said, it's always important to have a control node as your starting point, and then everything else becomes a child node off of this control node. At the bottom, we have the timeline panel. This is for your animations, whether you're making static animations or actual moving animations. And then we have the library, which is the all the models that you're going to be using in the project. well as an inspector, which is where the models are placed, and you can either manually position them or use these at the top to move them. So that's pretty much those main bits done. This as well, this is show hide rig. So the rig, when you show it, the lines that you see coming off of it, as an example, let's go to this one because I know she's unlocked. So when you see this, they are going from pivot point to pivot point. So where you see those little light balls, that is where the pivot point is, and that's where they're attaching to. So that's why sometimes your pivot point is really, really important when you're rigging things up like this. So yeah, that's just so you know that. So what we are going to be doing is we're going to be making a light, and I'm going to be showing you animations on how to animate that light. Once again, I know I have covered this on other live streams, but I wanted a place where this could be the main focus. We are most likely going to have more time, so if you guys wanted to see any sort of thing, do let me know, and depending on time constraints, we could probably fit it in, or at least start half of it and go on from there. So apologies for me having to run off a second ago, but I am back. So, as I said before, a lot of people will make their single models over in the modeler. I do it all here because it's just easier to have everything in the same place for one project. So go to your library. If you've made models or you want to import something from a similar model, I've done it before, and I'll quickly show you that. What I mean by that is, can't show you because I don't know where it is. Basement, kitchen table. Okay, so this kitchen table right here. This knife is seen in numerous different models, as well as this mug and this bit of meat and the plate and the grapes. Okay, so all of those actually feature in different places. So instead of making a whole separate model of almost the exact same item, all I did was import it, find the original place that it was, and then put it in, which is sometimes why it's a good idea to have a few simple entities, so your simple models, all in one place, rather than project-based. But if you know your project fairly well, you should be able to pull them from those pretty quickly. I am easier with pulling things project-based, but some people might be more model-based. What we're going to do is new VXM, and we're making a lantern. Wait, yeah, we'll make a lantern again. And so this actually brings up what you would see in the modeler. I'm going to cover this bit because I still get questions about this. Some people don't see the grid, okay? This is super, super common. I do hope that they put a fix up. During one of the updates, it kind of made the grid disappear, and to fix it, all you do is go File, Preferences, Color Theme, and then choose Dark Theme. If you don't like working in Dark Theme, once you click Save, you can change it to any other theme and the grid will appear. I just found switching to Dark Theme made it appear, and I quite like Dark Theme. The Animation Addict, I love that. What a great name. DJ EJ, hello to you. So I'm going to load my palette up. And we're going to make a very, very simple lantern. We're not going to do anything too fancy. Just a nice, simple lantern. We've got the base. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than I normally would. And go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. We'll go. Oh, whoops. Go up 12. And then what I'm going to want to do is up. It's like that. And like I mentioned before, I have done something similar to this already, where we've had a lantern. And I can't remember if we did it on the tutorial. I tried to look back and I couldn't see it. So I'm assuming I didn't. There we go. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want... I actually quite like it being grey, but I'm going to make it a bit lighter. No, because that makes it look like it's turned on. Beautiful. So this is our main lantern. I did use the mirroring. It's super, super easy to use mirroring, especially for something like this. When will Sandbox allow all users to sell assets? Even people on Creator Fund do not get the option to sell their assets. Like, I get that it's frustrating, but this is why I've made the video. I'm in the process of editing it, explaining what actually happens. How do you make a fire effect? Oh, what, a little bit like, I'll find it. A little bit like that. But yeah, they are moving towards making that, like, that is the aim, to make it so everybody will be able to use the marketplace. Yes, currently it is only people within the Creator Fund, but people within the Creator Fund do not get to upload what we want. That's not a thing. I've been with the Creator Fund almost 2 years now. We do not get to create what we want. I mean, obviously a little bit of what we want, but there's a certain theme. I can't just go make a house and the theme is pirates and have nothing to do with the theme. It's got to stick with the theme. It's got to be approved. They're pre-approved assets. Can you make shoes in future? Yeah, people have made shoes. They had a shoe competition, I believe. And inside the lantern, oh yeah, I could do a fire effect. My aim is not to do the fire effect inside the lantern, but I could do two. I could make a lantern where I have the light just sort of light on, and then we could have a fire effect for sure. But the main important thing is that anything you're animating, if you're making something appear that otherwise wouldn't really be there, you do need somewhere to hide it. But yeah, you can make shoes right now using the templates. Use leg pieces, and you can use you delete these bits up here, and you just make the shoes, and then you've got shoes that can be worn. And then from the control node, I'm going to do lantern, and we're going to move that there. And then to save myself a bunch of, oh, which reminds me, make sure, one, trim your volumes. That's like that big box that I was working inside of, that's the bounding box. Imagine that item's in an invisible box. If you do not trim those volumes, that box is going to be huge, and you're going to have collision issues. When you trim it, it goes from largest point to largest point. It doesn't wrap around the entire thing, so it goes from highest to highest point. And so to save myself some time with this, oh, I didn't even do the pivot point that I planned on doing. There we go, pivot point, fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and call this light. I'm going to go into edit mode, and pretty much going to delete all of this right here. Delete the sides. And then what I want to do is just take one off of that. Set to floor. Beautiful. Yes. Oh, wait. And then we want to turn mission on. for this one. There we go. And then from the lantern, we're going to have a child node from this. So we're going to create a child node, light 1. I grab that. So we need this. So you don't want, it will start at 0, 0, wherever the pivot point is. So that's why I've had to move it up slightly. And duplicate light 2. And when you duplicate it, it duplicates it in the same position the first one was in. And duplicate light 3. And we'll duplicate for a light 4. I mean, a source of light you make from bright colors and glowing. Yes, so the lantern is going to have this. This is why we've got the light over here. So the lantern is going to have numerous different animations. So we're going to have idle 01, so it's just that there. Then we'll rename this one and call this on 01. Off 01 should really just have, we'll keep idle. Idle's just how it looks like this. Off, on 02, which will just be the animation of it turning on and off. Do you know if it will be possible to get data via API in my game that could trigger animation, for example, build assets that show weather all over the world? So no, I don't know if that's possible. That's not my area of expertise at all. So what I'm going to do now is for off, we're fine. Now, because we've got more than one animation, I know I'm in the way, but because I've got more than one animation, the like off and idle are just going to be static, and on is going to be static, but with everything in a different position. So what we do need is one keyframe. Everything needs to be one keyframe. Click on control node. There's this diamond right here. This is super important. So you need that for it to work. And then off, the light's off, we're having it off. And then on 01, we go back to that 0 point, and this is where, whoops. This is where we get our light, and we position the light where we want it. So I'm just trying to get it positioned like that. This will need rotating. And then pushing back inside like that. I mean, I don't think there's going to really be, like, in the sandbox, the game will look like how the people have created the game, so I don't believe you're going to have weather that's going to affect everybody's games. Otherwise, that could potentially ruin some people's gameplay if all of a sudden it's snowing when they're in a desert. But I don't think you're going to see, like, weather affecting the entire metaverse. There we go. And then what we do, because this is also static, we do need to go back to this one keyframe down here, press the diamond, and now we have it. So it's like this. On 02, I'm actually going to delete that animation. Click on 01. So when you create a new animation, it does the starting point based off of the previous animation you're on. Am I from Canada? I am not from Canada. No, I am from the UK. Do I sound Canadian? I'm not very good at doing accents. Like, all I know is, like, the way they say about is, like, about. That's it. That's all I know. And even that, I don't even do an accent with it. Have an idea for a land to build okay, where people can bury their pets with pictures and stuff, NFTs. Ah, that's cute. But I also don't think people, once you've uploaded your game to the metaverse, don't think people can add to it. You don't sound Canadian. I was gonna say, I didn't think I did. So we're gonna do on O2. So this is going to be full-blown animation. It's gonna be very simplified animation. So down here, we can pull out the zoom area. You've got a full 20 seconds to deal with animations. I barely ever go past, I think my most is probably 12 seconds of animation. So what we are going to do is have this stay on for this amount of time, and then in one keyframe will make it so that's one of those little lines. One little line, it will make it as if it's just disappeared. So we'll pull that in, we'll pull everything in. So it now looks like it's gone off. And then it's off. We'll have it off for a little bit, so we'll go back to the control node, move these over here, and then we'll press this diamond again so it stays in that position, one keyframe, and then a quick way instead of dragging everything out is to copy these ones right here, copy and paste. So now 1 second and it's back on. And we'll have it probably a bit too long, a bit down. Then we'll have the animation go off. So we'll copy, nope. Then off, we'll copy, paste right there, have it off for a few seconds. What we could do is I could have grabbed all of this and just copied and pasted that whole section, which actually I think I will do. Wait, where does it go? It goes off there. Okay, so I'll come here, thank you. I'll copy and paste, goes off and comes back on. Copy, go here, paste, so it goes off, comes back on, and we'll leave it on. So then we'll play the animation. It's probably blinking a little bit too fast. If we wanted to change that, we can change it. Yeah, I get that, but like, I don't think you'd be able to add to something that's already, so with the way how it's going to work, at least with the games, when you've put a game onto the land in the metaverse, you're effectively wrapping that game up and placing it on that land. So you're wrapping the token and placing it there. So it can't be edited, or at least I don't think it can. I don't know for certain, so don't take that as, you know, gospel or anything like that. So yeah, do you need land to build games? Technically, no. Technically, no. All you need is a PC. Use the game maker. You can build your own games. However, you will need land to upload into the metaverse. Right now, you can upload any games into the game experience gallery. You can upload them there. They will not be minted, so you won't be able to earn from those games. But yes, you will either need to own land to upload to the metaverse or rent off of someone else the size of the land that your game is built on. So when you open up the game maker, you can select the size that you're building on, and then that's what, yeah. You'd either need to own that size or you would need to rent that size. If the normal oh, yeah, I read that. So yes and no. So this is how you make just a standard lantern. Kind of want it to be a little bit. So we'll have it on for a little bit there. A little bit better. Yeah, there you go. That's how you make a really, really simple lantern and animations for on and off lights. The main points are you need to be able to hide your light inside of the asset. It is highly suggested not to hide anything underground level. Doesn't look good. It sort of breaks it a little bit doing that. So yeah, you need to hide it inside of your asset. If your asset isn't big enough, then you need to figure out workarounds, whether that's breaking up that other section a little bit more to be able to fit it. I've had assets that I've had to break things down multiple times to make them fit, to hide inside the asset, to then have to get them put back together for when they're needed, which is a little bit frustrating, but yeah. And then the other thing to note is to make it look like it's flashing on and off or an immediate appear, disappear type effect, you need to do one keyframe, one tiny little line. Okay? If I extended that, you're going to see that light go inside. Now, luckily, it's not too big, like it's not pulled out too much. If I just pulled this out, that's its starting position, and you'll see it sort of flow back inside. That's the important bit. The other important bit as well is when you do animations, even static animations, you need the end of the animation keyframes to be ending at the same position. You see, this goes up for a whole 2 seconds. The control node and the lantern itself do not move. They still need to end here. So find the very end of your animation, find that point, and all you need to do is you can click this little diamond and it will end your keys right there. But does that asset project light into things around it, or is it just bright? Yeah, so it has a slight emission, but it won't really bright up. We haven't got anything at the moment that makes something like super, super bright. It will do like a little bit of a emission light, so it will make the area around it brighter, but generally we can't make something like really brighten up a place at this moment in time anyway. So there's that, and then you guys said about making some sort of fire one. So what I'm going to do is copy lantern 2. I'm going to do it on the same one. I don't suggest you do 2 on the same one. This is obviously just for tutorial purposes. We've got lantern 2. Gonna move, come here, you're gonna go over here, and you wanted like fire inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete the insides. Use the face tool. We'll recolor this to black. Give it a nice silver top. Lovely. And there we go. Now we've got something a little bit different. And then we need fire. I already have fire, so I'm actually going to import the fire I've already created. And luckily, because I was last looking at it, it's right here. I think this is the small one. And probably do some of like these little bits. Oh, tiny fire might be smaller than that. We'll see. Right. Fire tiny. Oh, fire tiny and fire. Cool. So from this, we're going to create fire. Let's see the size of the fire tiny and fire 2. So the one main issue I have right here is I cannot hide the fire. Yeah, Okay, we only need one fire. Delete you as well. Cannot hide this fire. There's nowhere for me to hide it. It's quite large. There is definitely not going to be a place I can hide this without it poking out the bottom. What I could do is I could position it here and we could edit around it, not that way. Click the little pen tool over here so we get the ghost. Could make it maybe a little bit higher if I just shimmy this up. Get hold of this. Do it like that. We've still got a little bit poking out, which we don't want. There. So now it can't be seen. What I could do is I could make this more like a lamppost. I don't really like how this is looking with how I've edited it. And we can still kind of see the fire. So yeah, we can see it still. But let's pretend we can't. And from game, apart from selling in-game assets. So yeah, there are a few ways. Obviously, if you create a game, one, there's the competition. So you can enter the Voxedit contest and competitions. You can enter the game jam competitions. So there are ways you can win prizes from entering those. Sorry. So you can win prizes from entering those. The other way is if you create a game and you mint it and you have a charge for people to play your game, then you can earn money that way. If you have land, I think this is the case, but if you own land, you will be able to earn gems from owning land or staking land. So you can resell those gems. Gems are going to be super important. They are what will be needed to mint and improve assets. So if you're going to want to mint an asset, you're going to need gems and catalysts. So that's one way. And then the other way is obviously owning land and renting that land out to other people. Some games should be free to play and play to earn as well. I know there will be people that won't have their games just free to play. So there are those. I have also heard that it should be possible to be able to gate your games to some extent. So what that means is somebody needs to own a certain asset to play your game. So instead of having a charge on that, then you could be like, hey, you either pay X amount to play my game, or you buy this asset, which will then give you access to my game asset. Can we buy gems? Not right now. They are not currently open. Out. You can't have them. Any of the assets that you see up for sale, that's been done manually. Right now, they are not earnable. That will be a feature coming in the future, and I will make sure to cover that in depth when that comes out. Right, so we want this to be like idle on, so we're just gonna have like this. So it's kind of lit up with, whoops, like a spark coming off there, and spark number 2. Coming off of there. So that's that one. And once again, I'm gonna have to move this. Right, so for this lantern, we're going to want the fire on first. Now, fires can be a little bit tricky to animate correctly, so they can be a little bit frustrating. Especially when you're only working with one flame. just gonna do a little bit of this. Trying to keep an eye on time so we don't sort of run over. Because last week I definitely ran over. And then we're going to want to just do little bits for the sparks. So I don't want the spark to come out until here. And then I'm going to have the spark just appear. Randomly, it's going to just appear. Right there. And then what I want is I want the spark to sort of roll, go down. And still continue to a little bit longer, please. Still continue to roll, put a little bit of spin on it, like that. And then for it to just kind of sink in, and then probably going to be quite quick. The fire's not moving naturally at all. That bit. The tilting backwards does not look right. Let's take that on. Back and forwards. So yeah, obviously you'll want to play about with that a little bit more, but that's generally how you would go about making a fire, moving very, very erratically. Let's move you to there and put you back in the start position. It's also a really, really good idea as well that when you're doing an animation like this, which will obviously be looping in the game if you're having something with a fire on, you're going to want it to nicely go. So as you could see there, it got to there and then snapped right back to where it was playing. So it looked very it looked like that was the end of the animation. We're starting it again rather than looping quite nicely. By that I mean like now sort of looped. Wait, it's because of this bit. No, it's because of this one. Because we have to go off of the animation for everything. It goes up to 2 seconds. Drag, we could drag this out. We could make the movements smaller, longer. So what you would want to do is you would want to take your start position, copy that start position, and make that your end position. So it does loop nicely. I feel like the fire needs to go up and down a bit. You are right, it does need to go up and down a little bit. Obviously, this is just a tutorial based. I just wanted to show you how you would go about putting it together and a little bit on the animation side. Not fully into making a fireplace. It takes a long time to do fire correctly. So this is like my idle one, fire on. You actually see the fires come up and go back down. Fish cooked, so that's on and the fish get cooked. That one obviously doesn't loop very well. That's for more of a, it plays and then it stops, so you would not have the animation looping, so you just have it stop there. Idle 2, just a few fish, and idle fire. There's just no fire. Look like you just woke up to it. Wow! I mean, yes, a little bit, but wow! That's not nice. And I went to the effort of putting eyeliner on. Next time, I won't. I'll wear my pajamas, and I will just come and not have anything on my eyes. At all. 100% will just do naked eyes and just, you know, bedhead, pajamas. Well, actually, I'd probably wear my hoodie because it gets cold, so my hoodie is really comfy. I'm kidding. It's fine. Fine, but no, technically I've not long been awake. I'd been out of bed all of about 20 to 30 minutes before I even started streaming. Pillow party. I mean, I'm still in pajama bottoms. I've got my upper half ready for you guys. My lower half is still asleep. But yeah, so we got different fish as well. We got cooked fish, we got ones where all the fish get cooked. And like I said before, so these are different fish. The fish here are different fish to what you see there. I recolored them. So what I did, right here, so I made a copy, and then I recolored the copy, and they all had to hide in there. You all want Pajama Panda? I mean, I'm half Pajama Panda. I have done, like, back when I did, like, a lot of gaming streams, I would be in, like, a pajama, like, if I did an evening one, I would pretty much just put a pajama top on. I'd still have, like, eyeliner and stuff on, for the stream, just because I don't really like my eyes being naked. I'm not keen on my eyes being naked. They need something on them. It's not often I leave the house without having some form of eyeliner or something. Whether it's like really good eyeliner or just like a little bit of black around the eyes. But yeah, that's pretty much that on how you can go about making those. Maybe we could add just a little. It would only want to go up and down ever so slightly. You wouldn't want it to be too much that it looks weird. Do all the assets from Voxedit need to be locked before exporting them? No, they don't. No, you don't need to lock everything. So the old way of doing the templates, the old way of unlocking the templates before hierarchy came in, oh, that's not there, before we could import hierarchy, this never used to be there. So the old way of unlocking the templates, yes, you did need to lock them back up, but for things like this, you don't need to lock these up. They don't need to be. My eyes are never naked, you wear glasses. Glasses don't suit me. I have one pair of sunglasses that I like that don't make me look weird. And even those are sort of coming to the end of their life. It gets very hard to find glasses that actually look good on me. So I'm lucky I don't actually need glasses to see. But if I did need glasses to see, I would be a bit buggered finding something that would suit my face. I'd probably go for contacts. I'd rather touch my eyes than wear glasses that didn't suit my face. Clankersh, hey, how you doing? I just saw that you were there. So yeah, this is pretty much, I think. We got a little bit of bounce. There we go. Oh, that's a bit much. If I just change, I'll change it all to this one. Might look a little bit more natural. That not being rotated, that makes it weird. Then that's a hard rotation. I don't want to do anything that makes it look like it's really jolting one side. Busy terraforming. Awesome. Glad to hear it. I am busy tutorializing how to do light animations. I'm going to bed. Have a great day. No problem, Brock. Have a great day as well. Great sleep, I should say. If you're going to bed, have a great sleep. Hope you get a better sleep than I did. We had super bad weather here. We were told it was meant to come at like 3 o'clock, and it did pick up a little bit, the storm. But it wasn't until it got to about sort of 10 that it really started coming on. And yeah, I was just laid in bed, not able to sleep at all. Got to about 2 o'clock, think I must have slept it then. But even then, it wasn't great. But I will be back on as well, Brock, if you're on later, doing the extended version of where I create the stuff I want to create rather than tutorials. But that reminds me, guys, you need to tell me what else do you want to know how to make. It rained so hard in England. Yeah, so we did get a fair bit of rain, but it was a lot of wind. That's what it was more of. At least where I am in the UK, we had like way more wind. There was still rain and stuff, and it sounded awful, but it was very, very windy. Looks like the fire's floating. The fire's inside here. Maybe if I make it not like the blackest of blacks on here. There we go. Started watching my videos yesterday and was able to replicate the animation of opening a gift box. Very happy with your tutorials. Becoming a fan. Yay! I have a fan! Thank you, Gustavo. Thanks for being a fan. Maybe the base shouldn't move. The base of the fire. I mean, I would have to break it up. If I did that, I would have to do this. So child node, top. I've called it tip apparently. And then I would edit. So this. Yeah, seems about right. And then I would go to the main fire and delete this top bit. That looks right. Trim. I mean, the trimming isn't 100% needed just because it's already placed inside of something. And then what I would do is, instead of the top doing its movements, copy. Paste. Oh, no, I'm gonna have to redo everything. So, top, go away. That much away. So then we'd just move. No, this would have to move with it. Slightly. Oh no, the pivot needs to change. That's why. Pivot's in the wrong place. So the pivot needs to go right there. So save. Yes, it's a bit annoying. This is why you should get all your pieces together and figure out how you want it to look before doing anything else. Or I could have a base of fire and stuff like that. I mean, there's lots of ways you could go about it. This was obviously literally just meant to be to show you how you go about it, not this is what you should do exactly. Mainly because I only have an hour. Or roughly an hour to show you guys what to do. And then what we could do with the base is do that, and then we'll have it just sort of like go down, up there, up, there, down, and tilt a little bit. I actually think that looks worse, if I'm being honest. Probably could have done with more of the base. It just kind of looks like it's dancing. But yeah, doing fire, making fire look good is probably one of the most time-consuming things to do. I've got numerous, so I've got this giant fireplace right here. And even the fire on that is somewhat good. Not as good as my other one I got, where I don't know where it is anymore. Small fire. Yeah. And we've got this fire. Although that's not the full animation because it's missing a little bit. And we have the festive fireplace. Well, so that one goes down a little bit more. So getting fire to work, all of this I can do. This takes no time at all. Making the assets, making this tiny little thing. By the way, this took forever. Making this took so long. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks, 6 single 1x1s. There's a 1x1 here hiding as a door. There's like a snowman, a tree that's a 1x2 and a 1x1. Little tiny Christmas tree. This is mine. This is in the marketplace. Don't copy that at all. I will copy. I will report it because this is my happy little elf, trademarked by me, as well as my happy little Santa that's on the marketplace too. But yeah, getting fire to work right. Any other animation, I'm good with. Fire is hard. Ah, Snickest, buy followers, primes, and views on whatever that is. Don't they know I'm already friggin' famous? Don't need to buy anything. And then we just got idle, then nothing, idle fire, and then smoke. I mean, I wouldn't say fire is the most important, but sure. And obviously, if we go down, there's all the little sparks that come off. Well, but there's probably more important things than a fireplace to be created. Anyway, what do you guys want for next week's tutorial? What is it that you guys need to know more of? Let me know. Either that or I need to start going into the Discord more and writing down the questions that people have, or the questions people constantly have. Let me know what you guys want to see a little bit more of. And I will be back this evening as well. But yeah, that's what we're going to use the rest of this time to just generally talk about. What do you guys want to know? Animations? I mean, what... Animations is so broad. What animations? What are you having difficulty with? Because that's ridiculously broad. I mean, technically today I did talk about animations, especially with this one. This one I talked about how you make the light randomly appear. So on this one, on O2, we're only focusing on this lantern. So you would have it there, and then one single keyframe, you make it disappear inside. You've got to make sure it disappears. You cannot see it. Oh yeah, look. There, like that. You don't want to be seeing it. Anyway, so if we go back to the lantern, and one single keyframe, and then make sure that that single keyframe's there again. So you would press the diamond button and then move it back out. And the other super important thing, I tell people this all of the time, and I'm pretty sure I make sure to mention it anytime animations is mentioned in any of my streams. The keyframes, the end keyframes, all need to end in the same place. Otherwise it will break in the Game Maker. It will look fine in here. It will look absolutely fine when you export it to your inventory. In the little picture that comes up and it shows the animations, it will look fine. when I move pieces around, it makes that the animation when I don't want it to be. So you need to make sure. Is it can make a car as an avatar? I don't know. Well, we can't even edit the app. So if you unlock an avatar, you then make the avatar an NPC. So I'm gonna say no, but that wouldn't. But there are mechanics in the game that you could pick up a car and be inside the car and move around with the car over you. So you could do that. But the moment you unlock an avatar, which by the way, the avatars aren't available, they're being updated. So even in the templates, you can't do an avatar. Medium humans and avatars are not the same. Medium humans are NPCs, avatars are avatars. Do you want to know how to do smoke animation? So that means I've got to play about with fire animation again. Fine, but I'm getting the fire animation done before we do smoke animation. But smoke animation's super simple. When you move pieces around, it makes the animation when I don't want it to be. Masaki, I know English probably isn't your first language, so I'm trying to... So what I'm guessing is you've moved to a certain point and you move that animation and it's moving in a way you don't want it to, in which case you need to choose. So where's the other spark? Spark 2, right. Let's have this spark number 2, okay? Let's say I want spark number 2 to move up to this point, okay, and then I want it to go over here, but I don't want it to go over. I don't want it to go up and start straight away moving over there. I need it to pause for a little bit. In which case, you need to copy and paste so you don't have that movement. So unfortunately, I can't zoom in. Hopefully, you can see it. But where the animation is, you'll either have a line or you'll have nothing. Or if you right click, it'll bring up other animations. So zigzag it'll stay in that place and then it'll like quickly loop to the new place. So I'll show you what I mean. So it'll go boop. It'll like straight up just boop up there instead of moving in a linear motion like that. I can never describe this in a way that transitions to normal people. So I call this like the one. So it's kind of like it goes slow, quick, and then slow again. Like a little bouncy. It's a little bouncy. This one is ease in, and this one's this is ease in, this is ease out. So this will start slow and go fast. This one will start fast and go slow. So the slow going fast would be like if you're closing a cupboard door, it'll slowly move to start with, or like you jumping up. The movement to jump up would be slower, and then the movement going down would be quicker. So that could be it. If you're on about you need it to pause. If you want no movement, you need it to be blank. This means that there's no movement. See, it doesn't move from there to there. But if I go at this point and I go down, it's now going to move there. And however long this is, depends on how long it takes to do that movement. Can you make the spark smaller and smaller so it looks like it disappears? One voxel will always only be one voxel. I've done it before over here where it has to go inside. So I could make that go longer so it looks like it's dissolving into that, but one voxel will only ever be one voxel. You can't have half a voxel, quarter of a voxel. That doesn't work. It will always only be one voxel. So you could have a big spark, but then you would have to have smaller sparks to make it look like it's going smaller. So I would have to get this, spark large, edit this, make it a 2 by 2. Fill that up. 4. Spark large. This is the large one. So what I would do for the large one is I would get this animation right here, copy and paste it. And then what I would do is, so that would go there. And then from there, got the large. That's spark number 1. Whoops. Spark large, I would take out here. So it'll go large. One second, guys. Okay, so we'll go from this point, reaches there, and then that one goes, that one goes. Single keyframe, we'll bring that in. Probably needs to be a little bit higher up, so about there. And you would want this to stay inside of it. There we go. It's gonna be very fast. That's pretty much how you do it. I should probably up here. Move that in. Delete that. And have that there. This one going in. There we go. Right. A little bit like that. I mean, when I put pieces into place, like if I put something on a table, when it does from 0, 0 to the top of the table, that becomes the animation on it. Oh, I mean, like the way you phrased it, like just didn't seem like it didn't make much grammatical sense. I'm sorry. How do you slow down frames? Well, one keyframe is one keyframe. So if you want the movement to be slower, you would drag that out. So if I wanted this movement to be slower, that's probably not the best example, this one. If I wanted that to be slower, you would just drag this so it would last longer. So right here, that's 1 second. You can do animations up to 20 seconds. So you're placing things on the table from 0, 0. On top of the table at 0, 0. Okay, so, and then it does animations? That's weird. We'll quickly, I guess this is going to be an hour and a half. This stream's going to be an hour and a half. So I'll do a quick table for you guys. Voxedit, I'm going to pull it and delete because I don't need it. Save. Right, so root, control node. So we're starting with no animations. No animations. We've just got idle, which is the base. I'm going to import a table I've already made because we're not making another table. I've made enough. So here's my table. Great. Control node, create node table. Move our table over here. Perfect. Now we need items on top of that table. We're going to have a bowl. We're going to have food. And we're going to have question mark. And I'm just going to import these over. So we'll have some grapes on there as well. And we'll have the random mouse. Why not? Right. So we've got our bowl. We got our grapes, so our food, and we got our question mark, which is the mouse. So because the pivot point should be centered or roughly centered for these items, they are going to appear down here when you put them there. Make sure this is on 0, 0. If you have done other animations, if you've got other ones that you've already pressed new and you've got like messy table, tidy table clean 01 and stuff like that. Or movement table, you know, table on. I don't know what you've got going on your table, but if you've already done that, I suggest you delete those and you go about placing them individually when you've got all your assets there ready. So we've got idle, I'm just going to name that, rename idle 01. To make things work correctly, you should have 01 after the name. And now we're going to position. We're on the 0 mark. Now we are going to position right there. We're going to get our mouse. Mouse is going to sit on the table as well. And we'll have the grapes just in the middle. All right, perfect. So what we do, this is idle 01. We just want the table to look like this. We then go over to the single keyframe and press this. Now we're going to do idle 02. So make sure you take this back to the 0 point so you can move them into whatever position you want. Now, let's say, for example, you know, we've done idle 02 and then we've got move 01 as well. And wait, idle 02, sorry, single keyframe, move, and we're just going to have the mouse. Not good animation. Do bear this in mind. We're just going to have the mouse go to the end of the table. And he's going to start slow. Going to turn around. Going to go over there. Copy. Paste. The hill turn. So he ends in the same position. Now, let's say, and we also need everything to finish at this point. Now, when you say things are moving, do you mean on Voxedit they're moving or in the Game Maker? Because they're both very different issues. If they're moving in positions that you haven't got them in the Game Maker, is a completely different issue to if they're moving on Voxedit. So Masaki, let me know, are they moving differently in Game Maker than what they show in Voxedit, or is it a Voxedit issue? And then I'm going to show you why as well. If we add something else, let's just say we've made this and then an idea's popped in your head and you want a bit of meat. And we import, this is very, yeah, we'll import the meat. We'll drag the meat. Now meat's going to appear on the bottom for everything, okay? Also, why? So let's just say you've done that and now your meat's on the bottom. You'll have to move it up and position it, but it will also go back down to that position if you've already pressed this. What you can do is if you want the meat's going to be in the way. So if you want the meat to be in the same position as any other animation, you would send to all, press OK, and then you would also want to copy and paste right there. If it's moving, then see if there's no line here, then I don't understand why it's moving. If there's a line here, just make sure it's in the same position. If you want it to stay still, copy the 0 mark and then go to where the next line is and click paste, and then it should stay there. If it's moving for any other reason, I have no idea what's gone wrong. But the other reason something could be broken, if it's on the Game Maker. So if you've made something and it looks absolutely fine in Voxedit, but it looks weird in Game Maker, like bits are flying off all over the place, it's because you haven't ended your keyframes all at the same time. So you see this meat does not have an end keyframe. Doesn't move, we're keeping it in the exact same position, but it still needs a keyframe. So all we do is press that. Everything needs to end on that same section. It all needs to end there. This one, because it's idle, there's no movement. We still need one keyframe for it to work, but there should be no lines, so you shouldn't see like any of these. It should be blank because there's no movement, so it should be blank. See, one keyframe, completely blank all the way down. Let me know if that sort of helped address your issue. If not, I am sorry. Also, like I said before, if you do, whenever you click new for a new animation, it goes off of the position of the one you were already on. So if I go on Idle 02 and I click new, the new animation will start in that position. If I go to Idle 01, the new animation will start in that position. So if you want to rearrange things, that helps. Thanks. Awesome. Hey, Misaki, is your issue Game Maker or Voxedit? And can you see a little line? That's the important thing. If not, then I'm not too sure what your issue is, and I apologize. Hey, Tom Voxel, how you doing? I just saw you. You're over on Twitch. Sorry, I'm just trying to help figure out what this person's issue with movement might be. They're the only two things that I can think of that you've accidentally not actually got this. There'll be like a line, like you can see here, we've got movement lines right here, animations. Whereas the ones with nothing, it's not even got the straight line. That means it's staying in the same position. And end keyframes. If it's a Game Maker issue you're having, it's usually end keyframes. What time are we on? 1 hour 20. Okay, now I have 10 minutes. Because I'm going for an hour and a half. And then we're knocking an hour and a half off of this evening's stream. So it equals the same amount of time. Don't think I've got another hour. Or another half hour, sorry. Another 40 minutes to fill in. It's a Voxedit issue. I'm guessing that's what it must be. That these lines aren't blank. If you want it to stay in the same position and not move, you want that one item to stay in the same position. The only other thing could be if it's a connected node. So if like on the avatars, if I move this arm, if I move this arm, these ones don't have any movement, but they move with it because it's a child node off of that. So it could be that it's a child node and it's moving for that reason because it's connected, which is the only other thing I could think but could be the issue. If you've got a child node connected. So our animation made in Vox Editor, it is a witch, and at one point the magic spell appears, so the animation is running, and at a later point, out of nothing, the spell graphics appear. Any idea how that was done? Yeah, it would have been hidden inside of something. So, so the animation, you saw it in Voxedit, or was it something you saw like on the Game Maker? Because that could be done in a couple of, so the witch, at one point, she's doing a magic spell. So does she appear? Mario, I'm just trying to get an idea of exactly what's happening. So there's a witch, and she's doing the spell, and the spell graphic appears, or the witch appears. Or like spell things happen. So pretty much any sort of graphics and things like that, there's two ways that you're either seeing it in Voxedit and they've done two different things to make something appear. The graphic. Yeah, so that would be, we'll go back over here. So if I do new, call it words. So I don't know what the graphics was. I don't know if it's like just some lights that come up or if it's words. So is it like little bits of spells that come up, like little voxels as if a potion's being made, or is it like a word that's coming up? But pretty much it would be done a little bit like this. So if I do this, it would be broken up into sections. So depending on how big she is, it was around magic sign. Wow, that sounds big. Is it on Twitter? Without actually seeing it, it's hard for me to actually comment. Basically, it would be broken up into pieces. It pretty much whatever it is would be broken up into pieces. Pretty much how it would be. Depending on how big. You'll send me the video. Don't send videos. Send like if it's on Twitter, send me a private Twitter DM to the tweet, but don't put links in the chat, please. I don't know how to make it so they don't appear. I thought it was so it didn't appear, but yeah, pretty much. I'm guessing it's they broke it apart and made it appear. But yeah, pretty much for the movement that might not be happening, Masaki, it could be the fact that, you know, how's the idle open? Yeah, it could be that, you know, it's a child node. In that case, do you want it to be a child node? Is it meant to be moving with that part? If it's not, then you need to find a better place. This is why it's super, super important to have a control node rather than having a whole bunch of stuff. So you should have a control node, and then, so from here, I've got, so just ignore that. So we're going from this, it's control node, and then we've got the hip directly connected. So that's the main one that's connected to that. And then the belly is connected to the hip, and then we've got a whole bunch of stuff connected to the belly. So we've got the chest, we've got the head, I've added eyes to eyes, we've got the arms that are connected, as well as the arms having their own child nodes as well. You got to think about when you're rigging things together, what will actually move with one another. If it won't move with one another, then it should be separate but still connected to your control node. It should be a child node off of your control node. So that's the main thing that you really need to bear in mind, is why it's important to have a control node rather than the main element. Shouldn't go root, and then you shouldn't have table, bowl, and then off of the bowl having like something else connected to it, unless the food inside the bowl is meant to be connected to it. But that's something you have to bear in mind. If you've watched my extended ones, you would know the hassle of, and it's like, I know you have been in some of the extended ones, so you should remember like the hassle I had with the bard, with figuring out where to put the beer mug. You know, so we've had to hide the beer mug in his head, and then do separate animations or wherever it's placed, because we didn't want the beer mug in his hand. The hand would be an obvious place to connect it, because, you know, he would always have hold of it. But he's a bard, so I needed the beer mug not to be connected to his hand. So when he's playing his guitar in the bard animations, the mug shouldn't be there unless he's playing it that way. Huh. That's interesting. Okay, so yeah, with her magic spell and everything, there's numerous things going on here. I'm pretty sure this person's hiding things underground level. Within the creative end, we would not be allowed to do that. We are not allowed to hide things underground level. There's one thing we're fully told to do. There's no way she's broken apart enough to hide those. So yeah, a lot of her stuff would be hidden underground. There's a good chance that perhaps the first one with the weapon, a lot of this she could actually be setting up using Light Tracer and adding things that don't actually appear when being used in the game. She follows me as well. It's really good, by the way. Like, I'll show people the animations. Like, this is really, really good. This is absolutely adorable, absolutely cute. But there's no way that this is broken apart enough to not be hidden underground level, or if it's not actually part of her animation and it's a separate animation that she's put together in Light Tracer. So there's two options. She's either hidden at underground level, which we're not meant to do at all, or she's I definitely think she's hidden at underground level. There's no way she hasn't. Or it's two separate things that she's created that have been put together for this video. This is the two ways. I believe she's hidden it underground though, which you're not meant to do. The circles appearing in the sky. Is it? Yeah, the broom turning into a huge mallet. I saw that too. The same thing could apply. I definitely think she's hidden it underground. 100%. There's no way that that's broken up enough for that to be hidden inside the body. Once again, at least on the creative end, we get told not to hide things underground. We are very specifically told don't hide things underground level. 100% we're not meant to. So it's either two things. It's either a separate asset that she's done in Light Tracer to add it, because you can move things about in Light Tracer. I'll show you. So in Light Tracer, can load a scene. That's migrate. Okay. Ah! Oh, I've done it again. I've lost it. Where are you? Sometimes there you are. Sometimes I really don't like Light Tracer. Right. So, I can pretty much move body parts around in Light Tracer. So I can move her arm wherever I want it. Move it up here. I can rotate her head if I want to rotate her head or arm in a different way. They do all sorts of weird stuff in Light Tracer. That looks really freaking creepy. Put the arm back now, please. There's also, I keep forgetting how you do it. I think you select it like this. Nope, that's not the right thing. But yeah, if I didn't want the backpack to appear, I could do something in there. But I do think she's hidden it underground. Just the way, especially with the way she's in her hat and she pops up, I really do think that's been done in different ways. You can also, as well, like, I've not finished colouring her in, so I could give her, you know, trousers, colour her in here. Like a metally look, kinda. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you could do in Light Tracer. I do think, though, that she's hidden it underground. I'm not sure whether, like, I'm guessing because, at least on Creative Fund, we're not meant to do that. I've been told numerous times, don't hide things underground. Like, find different ways to do it. So I'm not 100% sure if she is on the Creative Fund. But it's a really, really good asset. Like, I don't think we can deny that it's absolutely amazing. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Is this the mallet one? Yeah. Yeah, there's no way that has come out of her wand. That's definitely a separate asset. Yeah. But if you look at right at the beginning, there's no way her body's hiding in that hat. So she is definitely underground. Brilliant though. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, there's two things. Either this bit is a separate asset where she's shooting that off, or it's all the same and it's hidden underground. I'm going for hidden underground. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. At least we get told not to hide things underground, but I suppose they're probably, it's not going to be, cut and dry for future. When the market opens, people are going to figure out how they're going to do stuff. So I suppose you can, but to make it look better, it's best not to. Is that a dwarf? This is the bard. Bankersh, you were here for the bard, I'm sure. This is the bard, Benny Bobbins. He's gonna be one of the dwarves in Pandonia. He's had a hard life. Everybody gave him a backstory, but we are gonna be finishing up. I'm running late again. I could just sit here and talk to you guys for ages, but I do have to finish. This evening, I guess I couldn't see. Yeah, it's because it's on his back for most of the animations. I will be back this evening doing a whole bunch of assets for my game, but also mine and Clankersh's game that we're making together, the other region. I'm also, are we happy with Pankershland as the region that the game's taking place in? Because obviously it's Pandonia, the region. Pandonia is the region the tavern game is happening in. And I say tavern game, half of the game isn't even in the tavern anymore. There's a lot going on with it. But there's Pandonia, that's a region, and then, yeah. Which time? So it will be 7 p.m. UTC, and I was that tired. I forgot. Last week, I finished an hour earlier than I should have done. I was meant to go on for like 5 hours or whatever. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, 4 hours. I was meant to go on until 11 p.m. I finished at 10 thinking that's it. That's the end of the stream. But yes, 7 p.m. UTC. It should be 3.5 hours because I've given you I've almost given you 40 minutes. So there you go, you've had extra, but I've got so much work I need to get on with. But we're going to be doing a whole bunch of assets. We're going to be concentrating on dwarves. So we're going to be making a couple more dwarves, mainly for Pankershland. We have lots of time for the name. Maybe viewers could help with the name. Yeah, I want it to include your name, which is why I put Kershland in, like Kersh. And I needed it to sound like a region, which is why I put Lund, like land, Lund. And then Pan for panda. But yeah, we definitely can. So yeah, I will be back on this evening. I can't remember what tutorial you guys wanted. Somebody said animation. Animation's too broad. But we'll figure something out. Oh, someone wanted to know how to do smoke. That's like 20 minutes of a tutorial, if that. So yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. Some good stuff you covered, thanks. No problem. Maybe Pankland? Pankland! Oh gosh, don't you think that sounds a bit like an infection? Pankland? Actually, no, I quite like it. Pankland. I got the Pankland. Maybe No! It can't be Pantopia, because it's got to include Clankersh. It's got to include Clankersh in it, because Clankersh is helping build out the second region. Not original, but sounds good. Pandora. It's gotta have Clanker. Right, you guys. It's got to have Pankirsch in there somewhere. It's got to be. Maybe we could just call the world Pandora. So the world is Pandora with Pandonia as a region in it, and Pankirschland or Pankland. Pandersh. I like Pandersh. That sounds funny. Anyway, we'll be back on this evening. We will be doing a giveaway. And for you guys that don't know, the giveaway will be for a special weapon crate. I have also got the minting for the fairy that you guys voted on. Yes, that's right. That fairy is now minted and will be a special giveaway given out at a special time within the sandbox. You don't know what that special time might be, but it will be a special time that the fairy gets given out, and I will show you the fairy. But this is what will be given out during the stream tonight, and I will show you guys. You've all seen the fairy, but I'll show you her anyway because she's so cute. You guys voted on her, or at least hopefully most of you did. There was a lot of votes. So if I go not to estates, entities, to sell. I'm not going to click to sell her. So we got 50 copies. I want to keep a few copies for myself, so that's why I minted 50. I don't know how many will be given away as giveaways. But yeah, this is the Woodland Fairy. She will be appearing in both Pandersh or Pankland or Pankirschland and Pandonia. So yeah, keep an eye on her. She is a special giveaway that will be given out at a special time. Some of you have already guessed. You did, awesome. Some of you have already guessed when the special time of her giveaways will be. Pandemonium. I liked the idea of Pandemonium being the world. I did. So we'll see about that. We'll discuss it more this evening. We'll have a lovely discussion. I'm on for many hours. So we're going to do many makings, many talks, many jokes about different panda words. And you guys are probably going to make some ridiculous backstories before I've even finished the face of some of the assets that I'm creating. Anyway, we are finishing. This is happening. So where's my end thing? Is it this one? Nope. That's not correct. Give me a second, guys. Just because this isn't on. There we go. Right. If we go, boom, there we go. End, and then nope, that's incorrect. Oh. I need to get this sorted. Clandotopia. Sounds awesome. Anyway, we're finishing. This is me finishing the stream. We'll be on later today, 7 PM UTC. If you don't follow me over on Twitter, definitely, what are you waiting for? Go follow me there, because I always tweet out when I'm going to go live, at least 5 to 10 minutes before I actually go live. Sometimes I give you a little tip from going live an hour beforehand, so you can get, you know, your cup of tea, your dinners and everything ready, so you can sit around your screens and watch me to your heart's content. Anyway, see you later today. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the metaverse. Goodbye.